I am super excited. It's great to see so many women in the room at this amazing event. So, welcome. I'm Jillian. I am one of the founders of Women in TechWorks, along with Jenna. Jenna, can you give me a wave? I don't know where you are. There she is. If it wasn't for Jenna, I wouldn't be standing here today. So thanks, Jenna, for that. It's absolutely a privilege to be standing here at ARM today. I am excited, but I'm also very, very nervous, right? So I'd like to ask who in the audience has actually attended a Women in TechWorks event previously? So there's many of you still to attend an event which are here today, so excellent, we've ticked more boxes. Privileged to hear at ARM at this Engineering Intelligently event. We are living through one of the most significant technology transformations of our generation with AI. AI is transforming organisations, it's transforming industries, it's transforming jobs, and it's touching our lives every day, and sometimes we won't recognise it, but it actually is. Lots of nations, lots of countries are trying to be a global superpower. The UK is very good at developing technology. However, developing technology alone is not enough to be on that global competitive stage. We need the talent and the skills to do so. And women remain underrepresented in the technology sector, not only in leadership positions, but also in the tech space as well. To succeed, we need to harness the full spectrum of talent. Right, so we need to come together and we need to encourage organisations to actually build on that talent pipeline. We do have a packed agenda today, so I've been told to keep to my time, which sometimes is very difficult for me. I like to talk. Today is going to be about just a little bit about my journey, why we're here today, and some of the key asks from you as well to take away. So I'll get started. When I look around the room, I mean, there's people here that have been in industry probably for 30 years plus. There's probably graduates or students, there's VPs of engineering, and we've also got the critical support functions in finance and business and HR. They're all really, really important. If you told the apprentice version of me that I'd be standing up here, 35, 36 years on, opening up this event at ARM today, I'll put it politely, being Scottish, I just laughed, right? I had a tough journey. I was one of 2 females apprentices in an intake of 25. It wasn't easy. I had to continually prove myself. Diversity and inclusion weren't something that was ever spoken about. Anybody who knows that the little town called Greenock, it was dominated by 2 tech companies, IBM and National Semiconductors, but it also had heavy engineering and shipbuilding. And because IBM and National Semiconductors were constantly recruiting, we employed 6,000 people at the time. They took management from the shipbuilding industry and put them into technology. They didn't fit, and that's where I experienced my toughest times. I don't want to get emotional, I'm not an emotional person, but it was hard. Sometimes I didn't feel a sense of belonging, but there were people throughout my career that did actually help me, who believed in me before I even believed in myself, who sponsored me, who mentored me, and who helped me on my journey to be where I am today. But I also had to push myself. I've studied for many years, I've done engineering, I've done investment management, don't ask me why, right? I traded on the stock market for 5 years, became a compliance officer, right? Done operations and finance, but in the tech sector, so it shows your skills are transferable. I've got a start-up company with my co-founder up there, Rob, and I sit on the boards of many semiconductor kind of companies, and I'm on the UK Semiconductor Centre board. So I think one thing here is do what you feel's right. Careers don't have to be linear. My career's certainly not linear, but like my personal life, right? Do what you feel's right for you, right? And you don't have to tick every box, right, to actually move on to the next step. And I think that's the key takeaway here. We always try and tick every box. We don't have to. Right, believe in yourself. When you look at my career, I've got many skills now, right, because my career's not been linear, right? I've learned a lot, and one of the biggest lessons I have actually learned is skills are more transferable than we actually realise. I think we underestimate the value of them, right? You can take skills from one employment to the next. So whether you're considering a promotion or a career break, your skills and talent don't disappear, they remain with you. And I think companies and individuals have to actually appreciate that. I think sometimes we look too heavily on what are people doing now, not what they can achieve in the future, and always think about that. So take that away. We've came a long way. As I mentioned, I was one of only 2 females, an intake of 25 when diversity and inclusion wasn't spoken about. But we have actually created an awareness over the last 37 years. Companies are more aware. They're actually training their staff now on diversity and inclusion, right, which is great to see. But are we actually doing enough, right? There is efforts going into it, but is it enough to get more women into technology careers and retain them? Personally, I don't think we've moved the needle enough. When I first saw this data, there's one thing that actually stood out to me. It's not just about getting women into the tech sector, it's keeping them there, right? I mean, if you look at this, right, we've made progress, but I don't think we've actually made enough progress. Women are entering the sector, right? 90% want to be a leader. Only 25% believe that they can actually be one. And I think that's quite significant. We've got women with ambition and talent, right, and aspirations, but pay and recognition are one of the reasons why women are leaving our sector. And it's not, as you've seen in the previous slide, for caregiving duties, which I think is a myth. A lot of people you speak to saying, oh, they went to have a child. Quite a lot isn't, and I think the data tells me that. But what this also tells me is it's a problem. There's a lot of engineers in the room. What problems do you have that don't have a solution? There is something we can actually do about this. There is a solution to it. So somebody says to me, Jillian, how many men leave the tech sector? There is no stats out there, by the way, that say there's 17% of men leave for this reason or that reason. There's lots of women stats. It does tell you why men leave, but there's no percentages against it. So hence why there's no percentages up here, because there's no stats. But what it does show you is that men do actually leave the tech sector as well. It's not just women, right? The difference is women are leaving at almost twice the rate of men, right? And that should actually make us all stop and think. We have the talented, ambitious women, but are they actually being given the opportunities that their peers are having? And it's not about blaming organisations at all or suggesting men and women are fundamentally different. It's about understanding the reality of people's experiences and taking steps to ensure that everyone can see a career within an organisation, not just the men. The good news is there is solutions out there, right? I think I've got 2 questions here for employers. Can you identify those in your organisations just now that could be your next leader, that could be your next engineer, that could be your next graduate, right? If given the right opportunities and support, right? And for those employees or those looking to return to work, don't always assume that your ambitions are obvious to your employer. Sometimes they aren't. Go and seek out mentors, right? Go and tap on the door of your manager and say, this is where I want to be, right? And don't be afraid of rejection either. Sometimes we get too disheartened when the manager says you're not ready, right? Keep on going back. Ask what you have to do to progress and be better. That's what I did in my 37 years, right? I had so many knocks along the way, but obviously I just kept on tapping on those doors and seeking out. There's mentors in here in the room. Oops, I've got told I've got 2 minutes or something left, right? So that's, put yourself forward, let your manager know where you want your career to go. Here we are, having recognised the challenge with the help of Jenna, then I approached Hannah. Hannah, where are you here? There's Hannah. I think what you're seeing on this slide is some of the members of TechWorks that stepped up and said, we actually see the challenge, we recognise it, and us as companies want to help you do something about it. I think if I'd reached out to our 300 members, I think most of them would have actually been on board with this. We are actually part of the solution here. We We formed the steering group to help shape the priorities and direction of women in TechWorks, right? This commitment demonstrates it's not just individuals. This is that organisations are actually recognising the challenge now, which is fantastic because they're putting things in place to actually find a solution. And I'm extremely grateful for the steering group. We're all identified by little badges, right? So please come and speak to us throughout the day, right? Come and talk to us about our initiatives. So what is Women in TechWorks for? Really, it's about supporting women at every stage in their career. It's for everybody. We want to help more women basically get into industry, grow and succeed, right? And hopefully they've got the opportunities within their organisations to do so. So we looked at the data, which you've seen before. We sent out surveys, and we did actually listen to industry. And initially, I wanted to do a targeted intervention. I don't know if you're aware of UK Electronic Skills Foundation. Madia's here today. UK Electronic Skills Foundation was the product of a targeted intervention from TechWorks on skills. So I thought I can do exactly the same, right? And I can just follow on from UK Electronic Skills Foundation. However, Department of Science, Innovation and Technology greatly said in December this year, we're going to form the DSIT Women in Tech Task Force. So rather than us doing an intervention on our own, because they're obviously pouring money into it now, we're just going to fully support what they're doing and reach out. So each of these initiatives is designed to help a different part of that leak. You've seen, so there's no point in pouring talent into the bucket if we've got a leaky bucket. We need to fix those leaks. And each one of these is designed to do something different. But together they'll create an environment where talented people can join our industry and grow on it and build on it. I'm not going to go through what each of them are. Go to our website, speak to us throughout the day, right? And find out more about it. This is where I am so proud of what we've achieved in such a short space of time. It's only been 12 months, because I'm sure, Jenna, it was the Women in Tech Week, or it was Tech Week, London Tech Week, that Jenna come back and said, Jillian, we need to do something about this. That was only 12 months ago, right? I didn't know how industry would respond, but it's actually been overwhelming. I can't keep up. I was only supposed to be doing it. I mean, I approached my peer, John Moore, and said, John, should we do this? And they've said, oh, Jillian, do you think you've got time? I said, no, but I'll do it in the weekends, right? Because I was passionate about it. So I think Charles is here somewhere as well. I think I wore many hats. And Charles saying, Jillian, you can't do this. Yes, I can. I'll do it on a Saturday and a Sunday. And that's what I did, right? We started with Tech Talks Town Halls. This is our first face-to-face event, and I'm overwhelmed by it. We've grown the community through the Tech Talks, etc. And events like us help us come closer together and build that genuine community, work together. Before I move on, I'm nearly finished, you'll be glad to hear. Before I move on, we have launched version 1.0 of our mentoring platform today. You'll see there's QR codes for all our events next door. And I say 1.0 because I'm working with Yike from Exceed Technology, who's one of our partners. There she is there, on version 2 already, which is going to be about career development. This is just a mentoring platform, but version 2.0 is going to be bringing in basically career paths, gaps in your career paths. It's going to be bringing in recruitment, right? There's a whole host of things. We will be reaching out to you to ask for input while we develop that platform, so we would really appreciate your input on this. But really our vision is to create a much broader ecosystem here. So this initiative is built by industry, for industry. And my key ask today is that please share this event on LinkedIn, right? Get everybody engaged, talk with the steering group. You can see we're all got our badges on, and bring your ideas to us, because this is built on what you want, not what I want or not what the steering group wants. We have to listen to you. And everybody make one new connection today, because that connection goes a long way, and share one key takeaway. Thank you. That's me.